Okay, starting with number 16, it says, use the figure to find the exact value of the following trig function, sine of 2 theta. So I went to my double angle formula, and sine of 2 theta equals 2 times the sine of theta times the cosine of theta. So this is 2 times the sine of theta times the cosine of theta. So that's all I need to know, those two. Here's theta, this is the opposite, this is the adjacent, this is the hypotenuse. The sine of theta is 4/5, and the cosine of theta is 3/5. So this is 2 times 4/5 times 3/5. So 2 times 4 is 8, and 8 times 3 is 24. 5 times 5 is 25, and you can't simplify that anymore. So this answer is 24 over 25. Now 17 says, write the expression as the sine, the cosine, or the tangent of a double angle. Then find the exact value of the expression. So I'm looking at my sheet, and I notice that the similarities between the two. The same formula, but instead of theta, they've given you 3 pi over 8. So, what I notice here is this is the same as having the tangent of 2 times 3 pi over 8. Well, 2 times 3 is 6, so this is the tangent of 6 pi over 8, which is the tangent of 3 pi over 4. So I go to my unit circle. 3 pi over 4, that's the first answer, but they want me to give the exact value. 3 pi over 4 is over here. And I know that the tangent is the ratio of the y value over the x value. Well, guys, look at that. The y and the x are exactly the same thing except for the sign. So when you put the same thing over the same thing, you're going to get 1. But since they have different signs, it's going to be negative 1. So that is my answer here. It is negative 1. Number 18 says write the expression as a double angle. So I'm going to my double angle formulas, and I'm looking for something similar, and I see this. I see cosine of 2 theta equals cosine squared theta minus sine squared theta. Okay, so instead of theta, they're using 165, and all of this equals the cosine of 2 times 165. Well, that's the cosine of 330, so that is my first answer. And now I want the exact value, so I'm going to go back to my unit circle. And here's 330. It's way over here. This is the ordered pair that goes with it. Cosine always deals with the x value, and it's the x value over r. On the unit circle, r is always equal to 1, so basically it's just that value right there. It's the square root of 3 over 2. Number 19 says verify the identity. So it's 1 plus, you know what, I'm going to go, I didn't look at 19 before I started this video, so let me look at my sheet from last year. And let me go ahead and do 20, and then I'll come back to 19 because I just completely overlooked it. I'm trying to study these but right before I come on here so that I don't make any mistakes. It says verify this identity. Cotangent of x equals 1 plus cosine 2x over sine 2x. Use the appropriate double angle formulas to rewrite the numerator and the denominator of the expression. For the denominator, use the double angle formula that will produce only one term in the denominator when it's simplified. So in the numerator, 1 plus, and I've got to figure out what to use for cosine 2x. I've got options here because cosine has this one, and this one, and this one. Well, the bottom one's going to be sine. It's going to be sine and cosine. So I'm going to use one of these. I'm going to go with this one. I'm going to tell you why. There's a 1 here, And if I choose this one to replace it with, it has a -1, and those will cancel out. So the first thing I'm going to put in here is 2 cosine squared x minus 1. And you see that eventually the 1 and the -1 will go away. Sine 2x, it only has one option. It is 2 times the sine of x times the cosine of x. Now I'm going to simplify the top. The 1's are going to cancel, and it's going to be 2 times cosine squared x, and the bottom's going to be 2 times sine x cosine x. Now I'm going to simplify the 2's. I'm going to simplify this cosine with one of those. So all that's really left is cosine x over sine x, which is equal to the cotangent of x. And what did I use there? I used the quotient identity. So now let me look at number 19 and see what it asks us to do here. Verify the following identity. 2 sine squared x plus cosine 2x equals 1. I'm going to pause it and come right back. Okay, I've resumed my video. I hope this works. Sometimes when I pause it and come back, the audio doesn't work real well. So here's my original problem. It says 2 sine squared x plus cosine 2x equals 1. So I've got to come up with something that cosine 2x equals that will help me simplify this left side down to 1. And I notice that it equals 1 minus 2 sine squared theta. So I'm going to wrote that down there. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put this in its place. So it's 2 sine squared x plus, I replaced it, and then obviously it just cancels out and you get 1 equals 1. So that one was pretty easy. To transform the left side to the right side, what do we use? Right here. Number 19, that's its answer. Okay, that completes 16 through 20.